Discover the miraculous journey of Dinah, unveiling Jacob's daughter's divine restoration and redemption. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, the air in Canaan crackled with change, the land beneath the feet of God's people alive with promise and peril. Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, often felt the weight of her family's legacy, burdened by the stark reality of being the lone female among 12 brothers. Her heart, fierce and tender, longed for the vibrant life and freedom echoed in the bustling marketplace of Shechem, where sheep bleated and merchants hailed from distant lands, their vibrant wares telling stories of far-off cultures. With cautious exuberance, Dinah ventured into the city, her spirit alight with independence. Yet shadows of her brother's protective gaze trailed her like the rolling dust of the paths behind her. She felt alive amidst the laughter and colorful fabrics surrounding her, an oasis among thorns. But as she wandered through the throngs, fate closed in with chilling speed. For in that crowded market she encountered Shechem, son of Hamor, a prince of the city, whose desire surged like a storm. In a moment that shattered her world, he approached her, overwhelming her will with force. Screams echoed in her heart as her identity fractured, threads of familial honor ripping apart like a tapestry carelessly unraveled. The calamity of shame engulfed her, the weight of the world pressing heavily upon her young shoulders. When the news reached the ears of her brothers, Simeon and Levi, a grim fury ignited within them. They were men of valor, defenders of their kin, and they responded with the violent swagger of vengeance that flowed through the veins of their ancestors. They approached Shechem, anger like a raging fire in their hearts, intent on avenging their sister's honor, which now lay bruised and battered. As the dust of battle settled, Dinah found herself alone, surrounded by the chilling silence left in the wake of her brother's fury. Amidst her trauma, Dinah wrestled with her identity. She felt like a ghost, overshadowed by the violence enacted in her name and the whispers that now haunted her family. Jacob, once a source of strength, seemed distant, lost in the chaos birthed by retribution. With her brother's hearts embittered and her own spirit heavy, she cried out, longing for the comfort of her father's understanding. Yet in her darkest hour, hope began to flicker, coaxed forth by the stories shared in her youth around the fires, tales of the God of her fathers who cherished the broken-hearted. She wondered if this same God would hold her in the palm of his hand, even now, amidst her anguish. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now, let's continue with what the Lord did next. As Dinah began seeking reconciliation with Jacob and her brothers, she found herself standing on the precipice of a new beginning, wrestling with the shadows of her past while yearning for understanding and healing. Would the God of her fathers truly bring restoration from ashes, or would the legacy of vengeance overshadow her story forever? In her heart, the questions mingled with a dawning realization. She was still beloved, still worthy of his grace, regardless of the circumstances that had enveloped her. Would she step boldly into this divine journey, her identity restored by the very Creator who formed her? The path before her was uncertain, but she knew she was not alone. The journey of healing was just beginning. In the stillness of twilight, Dinah approached her father Jacob, who sat by the entrance of his tent, eyes fixed upon the horizon. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the land, and Dinah's heart thudded against her chest like the beating of war drums. "Father," she spoke, her voice trembling, I bear a burden I cannot carry alone." Jacob turned, his weary face reflecting the weight of countless trials. "My daughter," he replied, his voice a soothing balm amid her turmoil, "speak, and let the words flow like water from the well." In that sacred space, Dinah poured forth the anguish of her spirit, recounting her pain and the violence that had marred her existence. She spoke of her brother's wrath, how their revenge had torn through the heart of their family like a knife. As each word left her lips, it felt as if she was laying her very soul bare before her father. "My child," Jacob responded with deep sorrow, "we live in a land fraught with darkness. What shall we do now? For the honor of our family seems to have turned to dust." His words hung heavy in the air, and Dinah sensed the gravity of their family's legacy resting heavily upon them both. Dinah paused, her heart throbbing with a mix of fear and yearning. "Shall we not seek the Lord, Father? Is there not a way to mend what has been broken?" She remembered the stories of the patriarchs, of how their cries had reached the heavens and how God had answered them. "Indeed, Dinah, your spirit yearns for healing," Jacob acknowledged as he rose, gathering the remnants of strength within him. They knelt together in humility, a father and daughter joined in prayer. Jacob's voice rose to the heavens, entreating God for wisdom and restoration. As twilight deepened into night, a gentle wind rustled through the branches, a subtle reminder of the presence of the Almighty. Dinah felt a flicker of hope igniting within her, a promise whispering against her fears. "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds," Psalm 147:3. Would God truly see her, broken yet still beloved? In that moment, she resolved to seek out her brothers. With the courage of a lion, she went to Simeon and Levi, their anger still palpable in the air surrounding them. "Brothers," she entreated, her voice steady yet laced with vulnerability, "our actions have left scars upon our family. Let us seek peace instead of vengeance. Shall we not strive for restoration? For we are bound together by blood and legacy." Simeon's brow furrowed, conflict raging within him. "How can we forgive those who have brought such shame upon our house?" he retorted. Levi stood beside him, arms crossed, contemplating the tangled web of their situation, for their hearts longed for justice, yet felt the stirrings of guilt beneath their anger. "Trust in God," Dinah urged. "He can heal this wound. It is not only for justice, but for healing that we must act." As she spoke, her words settled in their hearts, stirring a deep desire for redemption amid the fractured paths they trod. Thus, under the dim starlight, they began to converse, the four of them, father, daughter, and brothers, redefining their commitment to one another and to the God who covenants with his people. Would they take the steps toward forgiveness and restoration, forging a new path in the will of the Lord? As the dawn approached, a rumbling in Dinah's spirit hinted at the divine mysteries yet to unfold. Yet, unknown to her, God was weaving a greater tapestry from the threads of their lives, a promise yet to be revealed. Would they heed the call to unity, stepping into the covenant with renewed faith, or would shadows of old linger? God's purposes were unfolding, and the journey toward redemption was only just beginning. Still shrouded in the tender light of dawn, the atmosphere around Jacob's encampment felt charged with anticipation. As the sun climbed steadily, a soft glow washed over the tents, illuminating the faces of each member of the family. Dinah, filled with newfound resolve, sat among her brothers, her eyes radiating determination. "If we indeed seek peace," she began, her heart steady, "we must first confront the root of our pain, seeking not merely to hide the scars, but to heal them with love." Levi, the taller of the two brothers, looked to her with a mixture of admiration and confusion. How do we bring reconciliation when our hearts seethe with bitterness? Their actions have wounded us deeply, and justice is yet to be served. Simeon, his voice a rumble like distant thunder, added fervently, "Only with vengeance can we reclaim our honor. What is a man if he does not defend his name against reproach? Dinah's heart quaked with the weight of their words, torn between their desire for justice and her thirst for peace. Brothers, the ancients tell us in Proverbs, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. What if we respond not with the sword, but with humility? Shall we not strive to confront the wounds through dialogue instead of retaliation? A moment of silence enveloped them, as the brothers wrestled with her plea. The natural world around them became hushed, as if the very air awaited their decision. Finally, Simeon broke the stillness, his brow set in thought. And what of the shame upon our family? Can forgiveness truly be enough to heal the damage done? Jacob, who had been listening intently to his children, rose then, his voice now carrying the authority of a father and a patriarch. My sons, you have been filled with rage. Yet I tell you, our Lord has called us to a life of covenant, one not marked by bloodshed, but by faithfulness and compassion. The Lord has promised in Ezekiel, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36:26. This is our path forward. Dinah's heart soared as she heard her father's words. Yes, let us seek this new heart together. If we ask the Lord for guidance and strength, could it be that He would grant us the wisdom to walk this path? Our family can become a light in this dark land. With a few moments left in the morning, they began to pray fervently, voices lifted toward the heavens, seeking a fresh outpouring of grace upon their household. The tension that had once strangled their spirits began to soften as they poured their fears and hopes into prayers for reconciliation. As they prayed, a slight tremor ran through the ground, and unbeknownst to them, a fleeting shadow passed among the trees, a messenger of the Lord, watching from afar. The intentions of the heavens were at work, weaving through their prayers. With spirits buoyed by conviction, the siblings made a pact to approach those who had wronged them, determined to speak words of peace instead of retaliation. It was in this moment of unity, heartened by prayer, that they found courage previously dormant. Yet, as their resolve deepened, the winds shifted, stirring the air with whispers of change. Dinah could feel a divine tide rising behind her, unseen yet tangible, as if God Himself were orchestrating a greater plan, a plan she dared not yet comprehend. What path would they walk, and for what purpose? The dawn was breaking, but the shadows of their past still lingered. The promise of God's faithfulness hung both heavy and hopeful in the air. What mysteries awaited their embrace as they sought restoration? And could the very wounds they sought to heal become the vessel of God's glory? As the morning sun ascended, illuminating the hills and valleys surrounding Jacob's encampment, the cool air buzzed with a kind of expectancy. The resolve felt by Dinah and her brothers created a ripple, something sacred lingering in the hearts of those gathered. Let us now prepare to meet the sons of Shechem, Jacob instructed, his voice steady and calm. Remember, peace must be our offering, just as our father Abraham received guests with open arms. Each child absorbed their father's words like a balm to their souls. The memory of their forefathers' unwavering faith drew them together, binding them against the weight of fear. As they made their way toward the city of Shechem, each step felt heavy yet purposeful. The brothers' swords clinked softly against their sides, a reminder of the fury that waited at the borders of their resolve. Dinah clutched onto the teachings of her father, her heart echoing the wisdom found in the Psalms. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. A broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. Psalm 51:17. Amid their journey, Dinah turned to her brothers. Let your hearts echo forgiveness, not bitterness. For if we are the children of the Most High God, mercy will be our might." The brothers looked to one another, uncertain yet intrigued by her faith. As they approached the city gates, a contingent of men strode forth, a mixture of curiosity and hostility etched on their faces. Among them stood Hamor, the father of Shechem. He was a man of stature, embodying both authority and pride. "You have come to negotiate peace, have you not?" he asked, searching their faces for any sign of weakness. "Indeed," Jacob affirmed, stepping forward with resolve. "We seek reconciliation. Our families have been marred by pain, but I believe that through dialogue we can find healing." His words hung in the air, drawing a collective inhalation from both townsmen and his own kin. "But what is to be done with the shame you bear?" Hamor's voice was sharp, yet laced with curiosity. "Can your hearts truly cast aside their thirst for vengeance?" Levi stepped forward, suffused with the heat of past wrongs. "Honor has been stripped from us, and justice misplaced. What mercy should we extend when we ourselves have been wronged?" His question bristled, echoing the inner turmoil he fought to suppress. Simeon, emboldened by his brother's words, added, "Are we not justified in our anger? Shall we allow ourselves to be mocked?" Yet Dinah stepped between them, her voice steady and unwavering, a soft flame against their tempest. "Brothers, honor is not reclaimed through vengeance. True strength lies in love. If we stand as warriors, let it be for peace." Her eyes searched theirs, imploring their hearts to be open. Hamor observed them keenly, gauging the sincerity of Dinah's appeal. It was then that a moment of silence fell, pregnant with possibility. The truth of her words began to weave through the crowd, planting seeds of doubt in their readiness for violence. With a great effort, Hamor spoke again. "Perhaps there is a path forward. If you desire unity, allow us to deliberate." His voice was grave, yet held a tremor of hope. As they retreated to discuss terms, Dinah felt the stirrings of the divine course set before them, palpable within the air, shadowy whispers of hope tantalizing her spirit. She prayed for strength, that each heart would be softened, and those entrusted to enact justice would instead embrace the greater redemption within this encounter. What unfolded before them in the quiet pause of negotiation was not merely an exchange of words. Each soul present gazed into the soul of another, where bitterness could either flourish or be dissolved by grace. It was in this tumultuous moment that the divine tapestry began to unravel, a plan forged in the annals of time, creating a space for new beginnings. As the heavens bore witness and the winds whispered secrets of restoration, Dinah's heart danced with the possibilities of divine providence. What would emerge from the depths of their offering? In the quiet of that sacred moment, under the watchful eyes of God, a greater mystery loomed, for who knew how far-reaching the ramifications of their peace endeavor would extend? As the deliberation commenced, a tension hung palpably in the air. Jacob, though visibly strained by the weight of the moment, rested upon the foundation of prayer, seeking divine guidance amidst the uncertainty. "Lord," he whispered, "grant us wisdom and lead our hearts towards the path of reconciliation." His fervent plea echoed softly in his soul, stirring an echo through the hearts of his sons. The men of Shechem gathered, their faces cast in shadows, representing the conflicting emotions of their people. Hamor motioned for them to listen closely. "Our desire is for peace, yet the history between our peoples poses a challenge. You have suffered greatly, and we seek to understand how we can address this pain." At this, Dinah stepped forward, emboldened by the Spirit. "Let us not speak of this merely with our mouths," she urged, her voice ringing strong and clear, "but with our hearts. The pain of a daughter lost is heavy upon our clan, yet I stand here not to demand revenge, but to seek a bridge of understanding." The murmurs among the Shechemites rippled through the assembly. One among them asked, What can forgiveness offer a heart so shattered? Is there not a cost for honor? Simeon clenched his jaw, feeling the tumult rise within him. To forgive is to release a debt unpayable, but what shall become of our honor? With calm authority, Jacob interjected, "True honor is not found in vengeance, but in healing. Let our families unite in strength, not division. For our forefather Abraham was called to be a blessing to all nations." A prevailing hush fell over the assembly, the mention of Abraham casting a spell of thought over the gathering. Hamor nodded slowly, visibly acknowledging the wisdom offered. "What are you proposing? How can we bridge this divide?" In a moment filled with divine inspiration, Dinah proposed, "Let our people partake in a covenant, that we may share in the blessings of our lands, that our families might unite in intermarriage and mutual growth. In honoring both sides, we reflect the grace that we seek." The brothers exchanged wary glances, the fervor of righteousness still thrumming within them. Yet, concurrently, a quiet strength surged within them, igniting by Dinah's resolute faith. Hamor contemplated her words, his heart discerning the weight behind them. "If your intent is pure, then let us hold to this promise for the good of our posterity. Let the terms be written, and may it be so, that unity fosters peace between our peoples." As Jacob responded, "Then we shall inscribe our decision upon tablets for generations to remember," a shadow of uncertainty began to lift. Yet unbidden, there lingered a gnawing sense of treachery in the air, a warning resting heavy in the hearts of Jacob's sons. As night fell, the flickering flames of their fire seemed to draw a veil between past grievances and future hopes. Amidst laughter and conversation, Levi and Simeon whispered among themselves, their thoughts clouded by the echoes of vengeance. "Should we trust them?" questioned Levi, his brow furrowed. "What if the sons of Shechem prove false?" "Only the Lord knows their hearts," Simeon replied. "We must discern wisely." But as the fire crackled, Dinah, ever perceptive, overheard them. She felt a stirring deep within her spirit. It was a call to further action, to remind them of God's promise of restoration, to act as a light in the encroaching dark. With courage, she declared to those gathered, "Brothers, remember who we are. We have been chosen not just to bear hardship, but to embody the love of the Most High. God can turn even bitter waters sweet." And as the stars twinkled above, filling the heavens with divine majesty, the murmurs of resolution began to listen again to the enrapturing cadence of faith. Yet would this step toward peace secure their future? Or would hidden shadows of deceit disrupt the fragile bonds they dared to forge? In this moment, a profound mystery lay ahead, as promised destinies entwined in the hands of the Almighty. For the night whispered tales of unforeseen twists, for who understood the mysterious weave of divine providence that would unfold with the dawn? As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a gentle light upon the land, Jacob rose early, burdened with the weight of destiny, knowing that their next steps would shape the course of generations. He gathered his sons, each bearing the marks of their father's legacy, the call of righteousness still echoing in their hearts. "Come, my sons," Jacob beckoned, "we must prepare ourselves. Today may hold the promise of a new beginning, or it may challenge the very essence of our covenant with the Lord." The brothers assembled, their faces marked with both hope and doubt as the dawn light wove through the encampment. As they approached the gathering place where Hamor awaited, the air was thick with expectation. Dinah, emboldened by the Spirit, moved to stand at her father's side. She felt the weight of her family's plight pressed against her heart, yet a fierce determination shone in her eyes. "Might we not let this day be a testament to what can be?" Dinah proposed, her voice rising above the murmurs of anticipation. For if our peoples unite in fidelity, what barriers can withstand the embrace of fellowship crafted by the Most High? Hamor regarded her, his brow furrowed with contemplation. We are prepared to fulfill our promise, but we ask, how shall we know that your intent is true? How can we be assured of the spirit of this covenant? Within the hearts of Jacob's sons, a tempest brewed. Simeon and Levi exchanged furtive glances, the specter of their sister's past weighing heavily upon their souls. Honor must be upheld, Levi declared, frustration threading his voice. It cannot be done without due recompense for the wrongs that were wrought. Yet Dinah, sensing the shifting tide of emotions, raised her hands in a gesture of peace. Brothers, hear me. Our demands should not thirst for blood, but for a heart restored. Vengeance will diminish us, but compassion can weave our stories together and bring forth future generations blessed among the nations. As silence enveloped the assembly, Jacob turned his gaze toward his sons, measuring the tempest within them. Vengeance belies our heritage, he affirmed, for we are descended from Abraham, who taught us to seek peace, even in the face of enmity. Remember, my sons, the Lord's hand is upon us. We must show the fullness of our faith. The words of Jacob settled within each heart like rain upon parched earth. Yet Simeon's brow remained furrowed, still wrestling with the weight of their family's honor. Father, can we truly turn our gaze from justice unserved? I say we can, Dinah interjected, her spirit aflame. If God is for us, who can stand against? Let love conquer the bitterness that seeks to divide us. The men of Shechem, observing the fervor of the brothers' exchange, began to ignite their own reflections. Hamor raised his voice once more. Then let us bend the knee, both in humility and expectation, for a covenant crafted in love allows us each to savor its fruits. In that fragile moment, hearts began to stir. Agreement hung in the air like a sacred veil, for would their promise prevail, woven not just in word, but in the spirit of their Creator? Then God's still small voice echoed amongst the hearts gathered there, inviting them deeper still. Cross this threshold, O sons of Israel, and I shall reveal wondrous works among you. For unity in faith will unleash a restoration you could never have fathomed. And as they lifted their hands in solemn oath to one another, the sun rose high, scattering the shadows of doubt and igniting hopeful pathways in their hearts. Little did they know, as the agreements bound in covenant were drafted, that the Almighty would soon unveil His plan, orchestrating a divine restoration that transcended their understanding and intertwined their fates with the unfolding tapestry of His kingdom. The echoes of destiny hummed, leaving them poised for revelation. A mystery awaited, not yet seen, but promised in the heavens. As the covenant was sealed with solemn oaths and the sincere hopes of both families intertwined, the atmosphere pulsed with anticipation, stretching toward the heavens. Jacob, with a heart mixed with trepidation and faith, sensed that a pivotal moment was near. He lifted his hands to the sky, uttering a prayer of thanksgiving and supplication. O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, may this union be pleasing in your sight. In response, the winds rustled through the trees, carrying the essence of the Almighty's presence, confirming the sacredness of the vow made. The men of Shechem, uplifted by the fervor of the encounter, knelt humbly upon the ground, their ears opened to what the Lord might speak through the voices gathered before them. Dinah, emboldened by this divine encounter, stepped forward once more. Her voice, ringing with clarity and strength, echoed among the men. This day, let us proclaim not just a union, but a transformation. Let the name of the Lord bring forth healing among our tribes. For through this covenant we may become a people rich in mercy, and our families may flourish under the banner of peace." Simeon and Levi, still wrestling with the specter of vengeance, felt their hearts soften with each word she spoke. The Spirit stirred within them, awakening a desire to forge a new path rather than indulge in the cycles of retribution. "If the Lord wills it so," Simeon murmured, his voice cracking against the weight of conviction, "then perhaps mercy is our truest strength." His brother nodded, their resolve against bloodshed knitting tightly together with their sister's vision for their future. As the voices rose in agreement, Hamor approached Dinah, gratitude shining in his eyes. "Your courage speaks to us more than any sword ever could. With your blessing, we shall labor to restore both our houses, and in doing so, find grace within the eyes of the Almighty." And so it was that a pact was forged, not merely of blood, but of hearts and spirits united. The families observed as their leaders embraced, the warmth of the moment weaving a thread of hope between them, a tapestry colored by compassion and divine possibility. Once their hands were clasped, a hush fell over the assembly, and in that sacred quiet, the skies opened, as God's voice seemed to resonate from the very earth beneath them. "Behold the mystery of my counsel. What you once perceived as a tragedy, I shall turn into a triumph. For generations shall speak of how I crafted unity from division, and a daughter's voice shall echo through the annals of trust." As the day began to wane, the light shimmering through the branches like golden promises, Jacob and his sons gathered in prayer, lifting their hearts to the one who had promised to be their guide. In that moment, as hands were raised and the skies sang praises, they sensed the tide of history shifting, ready to fulfill a more significant purpose, a promise not yet visible but deeply imbued with the divine. Yet little did they know, lurking within the folds of this covenant was yet another revelation, the coming trials that awaited them, the hardships that would further unveil God's sovereignty and prepare them for even greater destinies beyond what they dared to dream. For as God's purposes unfolded, a deeper understanding awaited, one of redemption that would touch not just their families, but the very world itself. The echoes of their covenant would ripple through generations, challenging them to trust in the unseen hand of their Creator, a hand crafting a story far grander than they could ever fathom. And it came to pass, in the days that followed the covenant, that a solemn reverence settled over Jacob's camp. The promise of peace enveloped them, yet there lingered within the hearts of men and women an unseen tension, like the rustle of leaves before a tempest. As the families began to unite, Jacob called forth his sons, drawing them close around him. "My beloved sons," he spoke, his eyes reflecting a mix of pride and foreboding, "the Lord has shown us favor this day, but we must remain steadfast in our faith. For it is in times of peace that we must guard our hearts and remember our covenant with the Most High." Simeon, emboldened by the words spoken through Dinah, replied, "Father, let us not forget that though mercy has brought us this union, we must also be prepared for the trials that may come. The hearts of men are fickle, and in their pursuit of peace, they may yet yield to fear." Levi, standing at his brother's side, added, "Indeed, brother, we must equip ourselves not just with the sword of the flesh, but with the sword of the Spirit, lest we lose sight of the truth of our calling." Their voices harmonized, echoing the resolve that dwelt among them. As days turned to weeks, the families engaged in the work of restoration, mending the rifts that had long separated them. The laughter of children filled the skies, and for a time the land knew a profound tranquility. Dinah moved among them, her spirit kindling hope within their hearts as she encouraged the sharing of stories and traditions. Yet, unbeknownst to them, dark shadows watched from afar. The hearts of those who had formerly sought vengeance were troubled. Within their bitterness lay a brewing storm, a rebellious spirit that whispered of dissent. One evening, as the sun dipped low in the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, a traveler approached Jacob's camp. He bore tidings of discontent among the people of the surrounding lands. A conspiracy began to stir, rising from the remnants of old grievances. Jacob, sensing the weight of the news, gathered his sons once more. "Behold, there are forces at work that seek to destroy what we are striving to build. We must prepare," he declared, his voice steady yet infused with an urgency that pierced the night air. "The Lord has ordained for us a path, and we must incline our ears to his voice, lest we fall into peril." Dinah, feeling the tremors of fear among her brothers, spoke gently yet firmly. "Let us not react from a place of fear, but rather let us seek the ways of the Lord. It was through my voice that God breathed hope into our families. Now let us lift our hearts in prayer and seek his counsel." As they bowed their heads in unison, praying fervently for guidance, the air became thick with the tangible echo of divine presence. Suddenly, the wind shifted, and the heavens responded with a low rumble, resounding as if the Almighty was communicating a revelation. The voice of the Lord rolled like thunder, reverberating among them. "Fear not, for in your union lies a power that can conquer nations. What you commit to me shall be preserved, and through your sacrifices I will unveil my everlasting covenant." And in that moment of divine affirmation, the threads of their futures intertwined fiercely within God's tapestry, illuminating the path ahead, a path that would reveal not only the depth of their unity, but also the might of their adversaries. Little did they know, the trials to come would forge not only their destinies, but would also unveil the greater purpose of God's plan, a plan that would echo through generations, entwining their histories with the story of redemption offered to all of mankind. And thus, amid the uncertainty, hope lingered, for in the heart of God, a miracle awaited to be born. And it came to pass that as the days turned into a month, the bonds formed by Jacob's family began to reflect the harmonious melodies of heaven. They prayed together, worked side by side, and nurtured one another's souls, fulfilling the promise of love that God had woven into their lives. Yet, the peace that surrounded them was to be tested. One evening, as the orange glow of twilight embraced the camp, a murmur of unrest spread like wildfire. A messenger, breathless from his journey, staggered into Jacob's presence. Fear lay heavy on his brow, and with trembling lips he relayed the news. "Father, word has reached us that the sons of Shechem conspire against us. They seek to claim vengeance for the blood spilled at the hands of your sons." A hush fell upon the gathered family, their breaths hitching at the prospect of renewed violence. Jacob, his face etched with concern, looked upon his sons, renowned as men of valor. "Simeon, Levi," he intoned gravely, "you have stirred the wrath of those whose hearts are filled with bitterness. We must tread wisely." "But, Father," Levi protested, his voice hardened with conviction, "we cannot cower before those who threaten us. The Lord stands with us. We have his promise of protection. The time has come for judgment upon those who defile our brotherhood." Dinah, attuned to the rising tumult, interjected with a voice that bore the wisdom of her experience. "Noble brothers, heed my words. Our strength lies not merely in wielding swords, but in the mercy that can heal and restore. We must not allow the shadows of the past to dictate our futures. Instead, let our response mirror the love we have fostered here." Her words hung in the air, creating a sacred tension. The brothers' faces shifted from anger to contemplation as Jacob nodded, recognizing the spirit of discernment that filled his daughter. "Indeed, Dinah speaks wisely," he affirmed. "Let us prepare ourselves to meet our foes, not with gnashing of teeth, but with the resolve to preserve our covenant." That night, the camp became a fortress of prayer, as Jacob and his family gathered by the flickering flame. Each voice united in beseeching the Lord, seeking guidance to navigate the storm that threatened to engulf them. As the prayers ascended, an image of their future flickered in the sacred light, revealing not only a battle to come, but also the path of reconciliation. Then, in the midst of their supplication, the wind arose once more, carrying with it a whisper from heaven. It wrapped around them, as if cloaked in divine assurance. "I have heard your prayers, and I am with you," the voice of the Lord declared, echoing through the hearts of the gathered clan. "In your trials, I shall be your strength. For the sons of Shechem shall approach, but I shall give you wisdom to respond with love and grace. For out of this calamity, I shall draw forth my redemptive purpose." With these divine words alighting their spirits, they recognized that every foe they faced was but a catalyst for God's greater demonstration of faithfulness. It was a reminder that even in the darkest valleys, light had the power to shine through. And as dawn broke over the encampment, a profound anticipation settled within their hearts, for they now stood on the precipice of a miracle, realizing a journey would soon unfold, revealing not only their redemption, but the intricate tapestry of a sovereign plan that reached far beyond their understanding, echoing through the annals of time. Thus, the conflict was not merely about survival, but a pivotal moment shaping the very fabric of God's people. As the dawn painted the horizon with strokes of golden light, Jacob's family marshaled their hearts toward what lay ahead. The air was thick with divine expectation, the whispers of promise threading through their spirits. Dinah, gathering courage from the quiet strength of her brothers, turned to her father and said, "Father, we must not only prepare our hearts, but also align our actions to reflect the covenant we have forged. Let us greet our enemies with the grace and mercy that the Lord has bestowed upon us." Jacob looked deeply into her eyes, sensing the Spirit of God stirring within her. "You speak wisdom beyond your years, Dinah. If we are to embrace our foes with dignity, we must hold fast to the truth that God is our fortress." The resonance of his words hung in the air, an echo of ancient promises that tied their lineage to the covenant of the Almighty. Quietly, the family gathered, hearts united in solemn prayer, invoking the might of their Creator. They recounted the stories of their forefathers, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and how God had boldly intervened in their distress. As they prayed, an enveloping peace settled upon them, a reminder that in the throes of trial, God's hand was intricately weaving their fate. Soon, the horizon brought forth the advance of the sons of Shechem, their faces shadowed with suspicion, yet tinged with the flicker of cautious hope. Hamor, emboldened by pride, yet curious about the spirit of the Israelites, led the group to Jacob's tent. The atmosphere crackled with tension, memories of past grievances threatening to surface as if to swallow them whole. Jacob emerged from the tent, resolute yet humble. He stood before Hamor and the assembly, clothed with the gravity of their shared history. "We stand here not as enemies, but as families bound by scars that call for healing. You seek vengeance for your honor, yet I offer something greater, a path toward reconciliation rooted in God's love." A murmur rippled through the crowd. The sons of Shechem caught between their wrath and the unexpected grace emanating from Jacob's words. "Can we trust you?" one man shouted, anger flaring. Is their forgiveness genuine or merely the sword's pursuit in disguise? Dinah stepped forward, her heart beating with divine enthusiasm. "True honor does not lie in blood spilled," she proclaimed, her voice ringing like a bell of hope. "If we are to bridge the chasm left by our father's failings, we must let compassion rule over retribution. In this covenant, we can birth a legacy of peace that will extend beyond our lifetimes." Her brothers beside her felt the stirrings of conviction as they listened. Simeon, with fortitude, addressed Hamor. "We have been transformed. The blood of old should not define our actions today. Let our offering of peace be seen as strength, not weakness." Levi, echoing Simeon's sentiments, added, "If we can unite in love, what power can break us apart?" Hamor regarded Dinah and her brothers, weighing their appeal against the bitterness that had festered within his people. "If it is your sincerity that guides you, then let us turn from the dark impulse of revenge," he conceded, a glimmer of hope dancing in his eyes. As murmurs of agreement cascaded through Hamar's followers, Jacob raised his arms, inviting the blessing of the Almighty upon their gathering. "Let us bind our families in covenant, not just in words, but in heartfelt commitments crafted through the grace of forgiveness. May our future kin thrive as a testament of unity, sanctified by God." With trembling resolve, they exchanged promises, crafting a written decree of fidelity to be kept afresh among their descendants. Each line was inscribed with intent, an eternal reminder that peace is a sacrifice worth living for. The heavens seemed to shift, light pouring down upon the assembly, as if the heavens themselves rejoiced in their willingness to embrace love instead of hate. As the sun set over the horizon, washing the land in hues of peace, the families feasted together, dining not as foes, but as forebearers of a united legacy. Within the hearts of Jacob's family and the sons of Shechem, there lay a blossoming realization, a truth that echoed into eternity. For in forgiving and embracing the vulnerability of reconciliation, they had inherited a treasure far greater than their wounded honor. And in those sacred moments, as laughter echoed amidst shared stories and celebrations, the past faded gently into the night, carving pathways for a future filled with hope. From this day forth, they would tell the tale of how a daughter's voice, woven together with faith and compassion, led to a reconciliation ordained by the Almighty. Thus, the story of Dinah and her family became a living testament to the beauty of redemption, grace, and the promised fulfillment of God's plan, a legacy that would be remembered for generations yet unborn. Now, beloved viewer, you must act now to keep the flame of these powerful biblical stories alive. Subscribe immediately to this channel, ensuring you receive the next stirring testimonies of faith that will lift your spirit and inspire your journey. Don't just stop there. Leave a like now to help spread God's word through the algorithm, creating ripples of truth across the digital realm. We want to hear from you. Comment your spiritual reflections below. How has Dinah's story impacted your faith? Lastly, share this inspirational video instantly with at least 5 friends who are in need of the redemption and hope found within God's truth. This is the moment to help spread biblical truth to those hungering for light. Don't wait even one more second. The souls of many await your hands to share their path toward Christ.